What she says all the time.
They are. They're great. Tonight's service will be led by Rabbi Carla Friedman. Barbara Grossman will be lighting the Shabbat candles.
And the Hanukkah candles.
And the Hanukkah candles, correct.
It's a good thing I'm
there
here.
will be no Torah service this evening. Do we have any new members with us tonight? No? Okay, we do have some guests, Alan and Debbie Hirsch from Charlotte, North Carolina. Give us a wave. Welcome. We hope you enjoy the service. Come back and see us anytime. And I am going to turn this over to Rabbi Carla.
Why, thank you. So, we do not have a Torah service scheduled for this evening because this is one of those Shabbatot where we have a service tomorrow morning and we do a Torah service tomorrow morning. But we've canceled the service for tomorrow morning because of the weather. We have a lot of, well, we have some older people who, you know, we don't want them to take chances. No, really, it's a serious concern. And so that's that. I'm not going to address that again. But I would like to begin, as we usually do, with an opportunity to set the week behind you. So I'm going to ask you to put your feet on the floor and your back against the chair. And I invite you to just relax. Sit there and feel yourself letting go of the tensions of the week. Just relax. That means breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. You do that all the time. This time I want you to pay attention to it. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. And what you are sending away from you as you breathe out is whatever was on your mind this week, whatever occupied your attention, let that go. And as it goes, feel the tension leaving your body. And as you breathe in the relaxation and the rejuvenation of Shabbat. Take it in, let it circulate within you. Breathe out that tension. Breathe in that relaxation. And as you're doing that, in and out, think about being able to take that relaxation with you into the rest of the week. And if you just close your eyes sometime this week and just concentrate for a moment on your breathing as you are doing now, the idea of the rest of Shabbat will come to you. So breathe in, Shabbat. Breathe out, tension. Breathe in, Shabbat. Breathe out, the tension. And open your eyes. You may have noticed that this is Hanukkah. Has that come to your attention? Did you notice our menorah on the drive? Yeah. Did you see that? Yeah, very impressive. And so because it's Hanukkah, we have a little special introduction to the service this evening. And I think you're going to like this. So let's just go directly to the music.
So mixed up that I cannot tell you. I'm sitting in this blender turning brown. I've made friends with the onions and the flour and the cook scout and all in the town. I sit here wondering what will come
those are, yes, that's Cantor Ozzie Schwartz from Park Avenue Synagogue in New York City. And those are his two younger children. He has two sons who are older and the two daughters that you saw here. Yes, this was recorded Friday night of last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, this was recorded last Friday night. Yes. Sometimes when I'm looking for music, I can't find anything that's contemporary, and sometimes I find things that, whoa, here it is, brand new. So good for us, huh? So we're going to proceed now with the lighting of the Hanukkah candles, which precedes the lighting of the Shabbat candles, because once you light the Shabbat candles, you can't light anything else. Now that's halakha, that's Orthodox law, okay? We don't go by Orthodox law for very many things, but this time we do. So Barbara Grossman is going to light the candles. There they are. Oh, okay. Here, give me this. And we'll do this over here. Now, Barbara, see, one of us is going to get killed with this thing.
It's awful. It's
Yes.
awful. Okay.
All right, so let's move this over here. And we're going to do this. Oops. Okay.
We're going to light the shamas first.
What a good idea, yeah.
Yes. Well,
Maybe not.
it went out.
May I help you with the match then, maybe?
No, I had it lit, but it just went out.
It's not on. Barbara, the air conditioner, not tonight. We always blame the air conditioner.
That's good.
We light this one,
Start here,
yes.
right.
We can sing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Baruch, no, we're going to switch melodies now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. You're welcome. Yes. So the next thing that we're going to do is make Kiddush, and the text will be on the screen, and Kiddush is on page 123 in the prayer book if you are following from there. And if you are viewing us from home and you have a glass of wine to raise, this is the opportunity to do so. Please join us, and folks in the sanctuary, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemase v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim. What's wrong? It's tilting.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on, is there? Mhm. So I wanted to just interrupt this service to tell you that I have not worn this talit in Florida yet. This is wool. And I bought it when I was a rabbinical student in Jerusalem. I bought it in the old city of Jerusalem, and I wore it for a long time, all the time. And then I started to collect other talitot, and I have, as you know, I have a wardrobe of them. But I haven't worn this one yet in Florida, and I thought, well, this is the weekend, isn't it? So I just wanted to introduce you to it. It's actually quite nice tonight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I might wear it under my coat. I might wear it when I go to sleep. We are going to continue on with Chatzi Kaddish, which is going to be on the screen. It's on page 144 if you're looking for it. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'meru Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam U'Laumei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitalev V'yithalal Shmei Dekudisha Berichu Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'meru. Amen. The Chatzi Kaddish is used as a punctuation mark to tell us that we have completed the introductory section of the service, and we now turn to the call to worship, which is the message that goes out that says, hey, whatever else you're doing, focus, we're all together now. So please rise for the Barchu. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam va'ed. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. It's this one in here that's broken. I'll show you later. We're going to continue with the reading that will be on, there it is, on the screen. And it's on page 148 if you're looking for it. Let's read together, please. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And we're going to continue now with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that found us. Even when we must hide, there's a path and a guide, for we are loved by an unending love. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta. Adonai Eloheinu, when we lie down and when we rise, we will sing of your law and cling to your Torah. We are loved by an unending love. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta.
That's a pretty melody, isn't it? Yes. It was recorded relatively recently in California. That's at Valley Beth Shalom congregation, which is a big conservative congregation. Happens to be the one that Jean grew up in. And that's where your bat mitzvah was? Yeah. Uh-huh. And the rabbi who was the senior rabbi there for a very long time, Rabbi Harold Schulweis, was a very progressive and liberal rabbi who moved the conservative movement very far forward because of his leadership. And I don't know whether you noticed, there was a woman on the bima wearing white. Did you notice her? Did you recognize her? No? That's Cantor Jacqueline Raffi, and we've used her music. She is Persian of extraction. She's obviously not from Persia these days. That would be Iran. But she was only ordained, I think, 2 years ago. And she's now on the staff at the big kahuna. Yeah. So that's very cool to see. Very nice to see. Anyway, that text, Ahavat Olam, ends with Baruch Atah. No, that's not right. Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael speaks about God's loving the people Israel, and we respond with the Shema, and we are told in the Shema that we should love God right back. So that's what we're going to do now. The Shema is on the screen. Please rise for the Shema. Page 152 in the prayer book. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. And the next reading that we're going to do is on page 235 in the prayer book. It's on the screen, and we're going to read it responsively. So I'll start. If we can hear the words from Sinai, then love will flow from us, and we shall serve all that is holy with all our intellect and all our passion and all our life. If we can serve all that is holy, we shall be doing all that we can to help the race to love, grasses to be green, the grains to be golden like sun, and the rivers to be filled with life once more. All the children. Go ahead. But if we turn from Sinai's words and serve only what is common and profane, making gods of our own comfort or power, then the holiness of life will contract for us. Our world will grow inhospitable. Let us therefore place these words into our passion and our intellect, and bind them as a sign upon our hands and arms. Let us write them into those upon our doors, and teach them to our children. Let us honor the generations that came before us, keeping the promise of those yet to be. And we're going to continue with some music.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu Leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu Shomreinu lechaim, ufos aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
You like that one? Mhm. Very beautiful. That was recorded in 2015. Holds up well, doesn't it? Get better, yes, right. like a good bottle of Manischewitz. Yeah, right. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. V'shamru. What? Peppy. That was Danny Massing, and we have come to know and love many pieces that he's written. We use his Matovu when we sing that on a Shabbat morning, and we do his Hashkivenu. And it's the one that we learned from the folks at Central Synagogue when they installed Cantor Mutlu, right? The three women and, yeah? Two women and him, yeah. So, yes. So, and there's something else we use of his. It'll come back to me in a minute. But he writes beautiful music. He really does. That's it, you're right. Elohai Nitzor, that's right. That's it, exactly it, yes. Which is, stay tuned, it's coming back next week. How do you know that, Ricky? It just comes to you like that. Yes, he writes wonderful music. So, and he wrote a letter that was published in a lot of newspapers a few years ago in response to something somebody said, a politician said that he took offense at calling out American Jews for not doing whatever. I think not being excited about the opening of the embassy in Jerusalem. I think that was the instigating thing. But he's not a shy kind of guy, Danny Massing. In any case, we're going to continue now with the Amidah. Now, I have to say a few things before we can do that. All of what we need to do this evening will be on the screen, of course. And this being the Shabbat in Hanukkah, there is a special insertion for the Hanukkah service, and it's in the Amidah, and it occurs, oddly enough, between pages 176 and 177 in the prayer book. And the insertion is found later in the prayer book, and it's on page 556 and 556. Yeah. Do you have a prayer book in front of you? Please open it to page 556. Oh, yes, it's in the brackets. Thank you, John. The blue brackets. Oh, dear. Page 556, yes. In the brackets. Say what? Yeah, we do. And we're making a great impression. 556. And what is odd about page 556? There's page 556 and page 556. Yes. It's one of the little oddities of this prayer book. What?
And it continues to 558, so it's obvious that they meant to put 557 and didn't.
Yeah, you would think so.
It might be an unlucky number,
Oh, so somebody's unlucky.
Like the 13th floor, they take it out of hotels.
I see, yes. Well, thank you for that insight, John. It's always just a bewilderment to me, some of the things that happen in this prayer book. So in any case, that will be on the screen. It is a special insertion, and we will read it together out loud. We'll be reading the rest of the English texts silently as we always do, but we are going to stop and read that out loud, and you will know when you get to it because it's blue. Yes, isn't that exciting? So we're going to continue now with the Amidah. Please rise for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rab lohoshia, Mashiva ruach u'morida gashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Let's read silently until we get to the Hanukkah insertion. Let's read together. In the days of the Hasmoneans, Mattathias ben Yochanan, the high priest, and his children, when the evil government of Greece rose against your people Israel to make them forget your Torah and to make them leave the laws of your will, in your great mercy you rose up with them in their time of trouble and fought in their fight, judged their cause just. You delivered the mighty into the hands of the weak, the many into the hands of the few, the unclean into the hands of the pure, the evil into the hands of the righteous, and the arrogant into the hands of those who engage in your Torah. For you made a great and holy name in your world, and for your people Israel you brought about the great triumph and redemption on that very day. And when your children came to the Holy of Holies and emptied your temple and purified your holy place and lit candles in your holy courts and established these 8 days of grateful to acknowledge and to praise your great name. And we continue there it is. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, tov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. It's spectacular. Yeah. What?
He is the best. And so is she.
You know, that is not a showcase piece for him. It's hers.
She's very good. But
Yes, she's, yeah.
he is the best.
Well, there you are. The Aussie fan club has spoken, yes. Well, we're going to continue now, as we always do, with an opportunity to offer prayers for the sick. And we're going to begin with some music. We are going to begin by offering prayers for the following members of the congregation: Beverly Adler, Robert Berg, Elaine Bialer, Barry Brown, Andrea Chasen, Freda Cohen, Marianne Fink, Batsheva Sarah Gamaran, Nancy Goodstein, Liz Jacobs, Marcia Katz, Verdna Kelly, Marlis Markovitz, Bonnie Meyer, Sandy Michelson, Amy Mogul, Steve Morris, Paula Newberger, Faye Nippon, Leslie Rapkin, Fanny Reese, Betty Sarlin, Jacqueline Schindler, Mark Schoenholtz, Brenda Shapiro, Roz Shapiro, Joe Sheff, Norman Toff, Ruth Turchin, Eugene Udowin, Leslie Zwain, Amit Ben Shirley, Ariel Bat Rivka, Ariella Bat Shoshana, Chana Pesa Bat Golda, Chaya Esther Bat Chana, Devorah Bat Ruth, Esther Badana Bat Shena Malka, Henya Rachel Bat Sarah, Hesh Leib Ben Devorah, Yosef Shmuel Ben Bertha, Leib Shalom Ben Yechiel Michael, Manya Bat Fredel, Masha Bat Esther, Menachem Ben Frima, Mindela Bat Frima, Mordechai Ben Sarah, Moshe Hersh Ben Rivka, Pesach Lev Ben Sarah, Sarah Mindel Bat Chanaleah, Shena Leah Bat Devorah, Shirley Bat Sarah, Shulamit Bat Zilla, Cyril Reza Bat Esther, Velvel Ben Hindabela, and Yonatan Ben Chasya. Now I'm going to give you the opportunity to offer prayers for the people who are on your own personal list. I'm going to ask you to think about them, and as you do so, articulate the names silently. Take a few moments to offer prayers for the people on your list. I'd like to take this opportunity for us to offer prayers for the people of the Ukraine. And we should offer prayers for the people in this part of the world who are still dealing with recovering from hurricanes of the past season. And let's offer prayers for people, particularly in this country, who are dealing with the aftermath of violence, which is rampant. Let's offer prayers for our country that can use some healing. And for our planet, which could also use some healing. And let's go back to the music.
With faith and love, together we bring hope and healing to those in need. Without judgment, without explanation, we are all God's creation.
And na'refanala Refuah shlema And na'refanala Please hear this song Please hear this song And na'refanala Refuah shlema And na'refanala Please hear this song.
What we're going to do next is something out of the ordinary, and that is the installation of the recently elected board of directors of the congregation. So I'm going to ask all of the officers and directors to come forward, and we'll see who's left. No, where do you want people, Rochelle? Have you thought about this at all? Well, come up to the bima, please. Donna, would you come out, please? Donna, come out of the closet. I think that we'll begin by examining the footwear this evening. I think that is conspicuously different. Why are we not surprised?
What you call conspicuous consumption.
Consumption, yes. Consumption be done about that? I don't know. Oh, good. All right. Well, where is Jerome when we need him? Yes, exactly.
Exactly so.
Yes. So many of you have been serving on the board already. Okay, some of you for eons now. But you have been elected once again by the congregation. Some of you, who's new to the board? There is? Susie is new to the board, yes. There you are, yes.
Donna.
No, I'm
No.
I've been on and off.
On and off. And of course, Nina is absent, our second vice president. And Joellen and Alan is, yes, we have a few who are missing. But we could never have arrived at a date when everyone would have been present. So we just said, well, we're going to do this. Who knew what the temperature was going to be? But, so I want to offer this blessing for our leaders. Holy One of Blessing, bestow your blessing on these leaders who have been elected to serve our congregation. Instill in them insight and understanding, perseverance as well as patience. Inspire them to work together in pursuit of our community's greatest aspirations, even as they watch over its daily needs. O God, we are thankful for the dedication and giving spirit that these men and women before you that bring these men and women before you, prepared to devote their energies to your service and to the benefit of us all. Grant success to their endeavors and help them to lead us in the pursuit of our sacred mission. And now we are going to invoke the ancient blessing of our tradition, which is a little bit different because it's in the collective plural. Yivarechachem v'yishmorchem. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav alechem v'chunchem. May God cause the divine light to shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav alechem v'yasem lecha shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. So we all collectively wish you strength and courage, and we are grateful that you have accepted the responsibility of leading us forward. Good luck. Well, I think that sums it up. Amen, yes. So I think that it would be appropriate if all of you would stand up and just express your appreciation to those who have stood forward to be our leaders. Just thank them. And now you may be seated, and you can go sit down. No, I insist. That got me into trouble recently. So I wanted to take this opportunity to finish what I started last week. I started to tell the story of Hanukkah, but not the story that you are familiar with. I'm telling the story that is the true story of Hanukkah, which is not about the little jug of oil. Now, I want to call your attention to the words that we read, the special insertion for Hanukkah. In that reading, there was no mention of a little jug of oil. Did you notice that? Yeah. You could have typed it in, yes. But it's not there. And that prayer goes way back. That goes very far back. So that's one thing to say. And another thing to point out is that the only record that exists of the battle of the Maccabees against the Seleucid Greeks, yes, them, occurs in the book of Maccabees, in the books of Maccabees, but yes. And if you're looking for the book of Maccabees in a Hebrew Bible, don't bother, it's not there. The book of Maccabees does not occur in any Hebrew Bible. Why? Because when our sages were putting their imprimatur, their stamp of approval on the texts that would be in the Bible, in the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, when they were assembling the content and putting it in order, they had no actual document that was in either Hebrew or Aramaic that records the events of Hanukkah. The only documents that existed were in Greek, which means that they were not recorded by Jews. We don't know who recorded them, but the early rabbis going back to before the year 200 said, well, then it can't be in the Hebrew Bible, can it? So we don't have in our sacred literature the texts that tell us about Hanukkah. But if you were to find a copy of a Bible with Maccabees in it, guess what's not there? The little jug of oil, yes, yes. Now, the explanation that I gave you last week, I want to reiterate. The reason that the story of the little jug of oil is not in Maccabees and not in the prayer that we say for Hanukkah is that there is no record that it actually happened. The rabbis who were involved in the Talmud, now that takes us forward a few hundred years, they were discussing the holiday of Hanukkah. And as I told you last week, that discussion begins with this question: what is Hanukkah? Now, if there had been a much-loved story about a miracle of oil that had taken place in the temple in Jerusalem, they wouldn't be asking that question a few hundred years later. Everybody would know about that. But clearly, nobody knew about it. The rabbis chose to focus Hanukkah away from the military victory. They did that because indeed the Maccabees achieved that military victory, but after the Maccabees came the Roman period, and during the Roman period, which the rabbis were still living in a few hundred years later, during that early part of the Roman period, there came the rebellion which resulted in the destruction of the temple. And 70 years later, the second rebellion, which resulted in the Jews just being thrown out altogether. And the rabbis said, that didn't work out too well. These rebellions are not a good thing. Yes, the Maccabees were successful, but we haven't got a good record since then. And they were very anxious not to provoke the Romans any further. So they turned Hanukkah into something different. They created a story that focused on a miracle for which there is no substantiation in any record, as minimal as it is, that exists. Okay? And they were very successful. They turned Hanukkah into a holiday that children can get excited about. A little jug of oil that lasted for 8 days. Wow. Why 8 days? Well, as I told you last week, during the war, they took a day off for Rosh Hashanah, and 10 days later they took a day off for Yom Kippur in the middle of a war, but they did not take 8 days off for Sukkot. If you pay attention to our calendar, you will have noticed that we have in the fall this intense period of holidays, right? We have Rosh Hashanah, then we have Yom Kippur, and then we have Sukkot, which ends with Simchat Torah, and then it's all over. Nothing in Torah until we get to Pesach. Nothing in Torah from Simchat Torah to Pesach. There is a holiday in December, around about now, called Hanukkah, and the date of it was established because that is the date on which the Maccabees rededicated the temple. Okay? The word Hanukkah means dedication. It's a perfect occasion for the installation of a board of directors who are, in fact, dedicated to the success of this congregation, and it's the right occasion for us to do that. But Hanukkah is not considered a major occasion on the Jewish calendar. Why? Because it doesn't occur in the Torah. Okay? Hanukkah doesn't occur in the Torah. Why not? It happens after the historical events that are included in the Torah, and then some, by hundreds of years. So it's not in the Torah. Now, I want you to look at that time period. There's Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and then there's nothing in the Torah till Pesach. Why is there nothing till Pesach? Because in antiquity, the Israelites were required to present themselves at the sanctuary in Jerusalem and to bring an offering for the pilgrimage festivals. And they couldn't make that trip in antiquity because there were no paved roads. They went on dirt tracks, and from Sukkot until Pesach is what is known in Israel as the rainy season. So isn't it interesting that there are no sacred occasions in that part of the year when people would have found it very difficult to make the trip, even just a short distance. In addition, of course, you were supposed to bring an animal for sacrifice. Well, imagine walking down the road, pulling your animal, and it's raining, and the animal is slipping and sliding. Well, if the animal slips and slides, it's going to be bruised, and then it can't be used for a sacrifice. So somehow, things worked out that we don't have any sacred occasions between Sukkot and Pesach. It's a miracle. But those of us living in a later time said, well, wait a minute, that's a long stretch without anything. Can't we do better than that? So what do we have between Hanukkah and between Simchat Torah and Pesach? Well, for starters, we get Hanukkah. Okay? 8 days, make the best of it. What comes next? Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat, a holiday that the rabbis established to celebrate the planting of trees in Israel. Okay? Doesn't occur in the Torah. It's not a big holiday, but it is a little bit of a holiday. Okay? What comes after Tu B'Shvat? A month later, literally to the day, a month later, Purim. Yes. But Purim could be 2 months later, depending on how the wackadoodle Jewish calendar works out. And then comes Pesach, a month after Purim. Exactly. If you pay attention to the calendar, you will see that Tu B'Shvat, Purim, and Pesach all occur on the 15th day of the month. Now, what is the 15th day of the month? Full moon. Yes. And the Torah says that the Israelites left Egypt with the full moon so that they could see where they were going. They left in the middle of the night. And isn't it convenient that we have 2 other holidays that occur on the 15th of the month, but none of them are in the Torah. We have Tu B'Shvat, and we have Purim, the 2 other holidays that occur on the 15th of the month. So we are, in essence, building towards Pesach. And that's what the calendar is really all about. Pesach is the foundational holiday of Judaism. Without the story of Pesach, there isn't much to say about things Jewish. So everything is focused towards Pesach. But the idea that there are holidays that are not Torahitic is the reason that we say of Hanukkah and Purim in particular that they are minor holidays, because they are not mandated in the Torah. Do you take time off work to celebrate Hanukkah? No. The only day you take off is the Shabbat, which will definitely fall during Hanukkah. And some years we get 2 Shabbatot in Hanukkah. But that's the only time we take time off. What about Purim? Do we take time off? No. So what do you know about not taking time off? Why is it we don't take time off? It's not in the Torah. It's not in the Torah. Say what? What? Well, yeah, but you know, Shavuot isn't much of a high holy day. It should be, if you would think about it, but it isn't. And Sukkot is lots of fun, but you know, yeah. So the pilgrimage festivals are Sukkot, Pesach, and Shavuot. So, you know, yes. So the interesting thing is that Hanukkah occurs in December when Jews couldn't have gone anywhere. It's miserable in Israel in December. It can be rainy and, just like here, cold. What's that? Well, it can make celebrating Hanukkah very miserable. Yes. So what I wanted to point out to you is that there's some logic to all of this. The celebration of Hanukkah is a celebration of a military victory that has been suppressed deliberately by our rabbis, and we are asked to celebrate a miracle which everything we can possibly determined says didn't happen. So should we tell our children this? No, not necessarily. I used to tell these stories to kids who were in my bat mitzvah class, and they could handle that. But they were interested that everybody fell for it. That's how they thought about it. But for little children, a little jug of oil is just fine.
But I feel cheated. This is the first time I heard this rendition. I mean, and I'm 80 years old.
Where you been, man?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Where have I been?
Well, Steve, I think you might find some consolation if you can talk to Joanne Sudman, who has never spoken to me since I told her about the little jug of oil. Every year we go through this, Joanne and I. No.
It's the rabbis. I mean.
Well, but they were doing something that they thought was going to save the Jewish people. That's what they.
How come the Romans existed and been dethroned? How come the rabbis didn't take it upon themselves to re-enlighten the Jewish population?
Because where do you look to find the story of the little jug of oil? In the Talmud. And the Talmud is authoritative. And the rabbis of many generations past, and including the big shot rabbis in the Orthodox world today, will not make changes to things in the Talmud. Their excuse is that they are not as great as previous generations of rabbis, and if those guys said this, then that's good enough for everybody. And so nothing changes in that world. But in our world, you're going to hear the story of the real story of Hanukkah. And I'm sticking with it. And
Don't worry.
that's that.
Don't worry, Steve. Neil Armstrong did actually walk on the moon. So you're okay.
Yeah, but he brought a little jug of oil with him.
Green cheese and all.
It is time for us to turn to the Aleinu now, which is going to be on the screen. Please rise for the Aleinu. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. And we read together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, And may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This Shabbat, the congregation is remembering Rabbi Phil Aronson, husband of Jean Aronson, Chana Leah Bauman, grandmother of Ricky Bauman, Milton Bauman, father of Ricky Bauman, Sylvia Spiegel Chesler, mother of Elaine Bialer, Gregory Dean Fox, nephew of Mark Koresh, Robert Greenfield, father of Andrew Greenfield, Edith Baum, mother of Barbara Grossman, Edward Hoffing, father of Richard Hoffing, Elizabeth Dean, mother of Anne Jacques, Elaine Gass, sister of Hildy Klein, Lena Goldstein, grandmother of Linda Mumford, Rose Bobbitz, great aunt of Ellen Oros, Louis Saunders, father of Stephanie Peshek, Rachel Steinberg, mother of Charles Steinberg, Sylvia Jupiter, Arthur Marshall, Moses Malkin, Edna Hirsch Pellegrino, and Shirley Slutsky, and we are counting Shloshim for congregant Anna Foster, who passed away a few weeks ago. Kaddish is on page 598, and it's on the screen. Please rise for Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, yamru Amen. Please be seated. Everybody's favorite moment, announcements. That's yours, I think.
Yes. Well, thank you, Rabbi Carla, for a wonderful service. And to the tech team hiding in the closet, we appreciate all your efforts for keeping us all on track. Are there any simchas anyone would like to share with us tonight? Delise.
My great-grandson had his very first birthday yesterday.
Woo!
So Grandma Diana is there?
Grandma Diana is there.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else have anything? Oh, quiet week around here. Okay. All right. Tonight's Oneg is being sponsored by the Board of Directors in honor of the installation this evening. And if you did not look at your email today, there is no Shabbat service tomorrow morning. We are erring on the side of caution and not dragging everyone out in the bitter cold tomorrow. Torah study, however, will be online. We will get together for lunch online at noon at 11:30 on Zoom, and then Torah study will run from 12 to 1:30 on Zoom.
The links were sent out today, so if you're joining us, you'll find the links. It's not hard to do. We used to do this all the time, right?
Yep, we did for 2 years through the pandemic.
Yep.
Okay, next week there will be no classes. Rabbi Carla and Jean are escaping from Sun City Center to Toronto to spend some well-deserved time with family. It has been, what, 2 years since you've seen anybody?
Well, we've seen some of them, but it's been.
But they've come here.
They've come here. It's been more than 2 years since we've seen them all.
Okay, classes will resume on Tuesday, January 5th, as usual.
No, that's actually Thursday, January 5th. Tuesday is the 3rd. That's the day.
Oh, right.
Yes.
That's the date you're coming on,
We're
on
coming back,
Thursday,
yes.
right.
So, but the classes on Thursday, January 5th. We'll be back for that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, next Friday, we will be having a Friday night service. It will be led by Ricky Bauman. Thank you, Ricky, for stepping up for that. We appreciate it.
It's going to be an interesting service, and it's going to be...
Very different.
It's going to be different. There will be some things that I think you will really enjoy, so I encourage you to attend. We should have something different every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I must leave town more frequently.
Yeah, no, I don't need all the phone calls next week, thank you. Sisterhood Game Day is coming up on Tuesday, January 3rd at 1 p.m. in the social hall. This is the regular January Sisterhood meeting. We will play lots of bingo and easy trivia and easy 50s and 60s TV themes, music trivia. Prizes will be scratch-off lottery tickets, and desserts homemade by Roz Ross will be served. Please join for the fun. Should be a fun afternoon. That's on Tuesday, January 3rd at 1 o'clock. Yes. That is all the announcements that I have, unless somebody has anything else
What about the entertainment coming up in January?
Okay, January 20th?
22nd.
22nd, I'm sorry, is the musical extravaganza.
Yes.
So the cost for that is $10. There will be live entertainment from our temple musical chorale here, and we have refreshments following that. So if you'd like to come, please get a $10 check to Diane, and we look forward to having a full house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that's all I have.
Okay.
Everybody have a good Shabbos.
Okay, we're going to close the service with an oldie but a goodie. Hello. An oldie but a goodie, and you are invited to sing along.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. And light one candle for the pain they endured, when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. And light one candle for those who are suffering pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, let anger not tear us apart.
Shabbat Shalom. Join us in the social hall. And for those folks at home, oh, by the way, did you like that? Look at that. That's our new slide. Turn your cell phone back on. And for the folks at home, we hope you have a wonderful Onyx Shabbat yourselves. Come back and join us all. Yes, look at it. Yes. You know, I've been watching